And okay, so as I said, Shalom, Erev Tov, and Shalom to everyone who's watching us as usual. And today I'm going to start with reminding ourselves of the Nikud. So what we're going to do is, okay, we have on the right side of the board, can everybody see? Okay, even though it's a bit small, we have what resembles the letters or the square, the blue squares, and then the red or the Nikud marks. The Nikud marks, the Nikud that teach us how to read the Hebrew words in the Bible. As I said, today in Israel, in modern Hebrew, we don't use Nikud as much. We use it for the Tanakh, for the Bible. We use it for children books, sometimes for signs, sometimes for maybe menus in the restaurant, okay? So it's very good to know, but the hope is, the expectation is that you'll get to a moment where you'll recognize the words even without the Nikud. But for the Bible, this is what we need, and this would be enough. So let's begin. What would be the patach? If we have a line under the letter, we say patach. And then we have the segol. So it's easy. I'm making it easy for you because I'm saying the word segol. Now I'm not going to say how it's called. First you say how does it sound? E, the dot, right? The easy, the tiny. The dot is chirik, E, and sometimes we'll have also a yud. The letter yud sometimes will follow the chirik, let's say right? We'll give some examples. And then we have the right, from ear to ear, tzere. So segol and tzere sound almost the same. And today to Hebrew ears, they will sound the same. Tzere, segol, and this one is okay? We stand still for the shva. Okay? And then we have two vavs. One has a dot in its stomach, u, right? And one has the dot on its head, o, okay? So we have the cholam and we have the shuruk. Cholam and shuruk. And then we have the kamatz, and it sounds just like the patach. Maim, andru, shalom. When I say shalom, okay, it's a I'll put there a kamatz. And then we have kubutz. Okay, oops, something fell, is rolling down the stairs, and it sounds just like the shuruk. So again, it can be either kubutz, either shuruk. There are obviously rules when to use each, but we're not going to learn them. What we want to know is to identify, because they sound the same. And as I said today, probably 90% of Hebrew speakers won't know how to use them themselves. They can read it. But when is it a patach, when is it a kamatz? Very rare that people know. You can learn it. Maybe we'll have a very advanced course one day and we can learn it. It has to do with the vowels. Sometimes if there's what word comes before, after. Okay, there are many rules. Okay, so this is for reminding us of the Nikud. Now, we're going to remind ourselves of the letters we've learned up to now, and I didn't put them in order intentionally. Okay, this is on purpose. There's no order here. So I just threw the letters on the board, and let's see who can identify. Now, please, I don't want it to be always the same person. Maybe we have 2 or 3 that know all of the letters. So make sure you answer once or twice or 3 times and then let the rest. So let's start with the first letter over here. Hey. Okay? Hey. Now, I circled letters that can come with stressed or with the dot in the stomach or without the dot. So this would be be, and without the dot it would be ve. Okay, so it's a B or a V. Be, let's say bait, house, bait, it would be a bet, right, with a kamas or a patach. And then v would be, let's say, shovav, someone that is maybe naughty, children that are shovav, okay, they're like a naughty kid, or chaviv. Okay, so let's continue. What is this letter? Lamed. How do you know it? Because it's the last letter of your name. Daniel. Daniel. Who else has a Lamed in their name? Michelle, right? Gladys, right? And that's it. Okay. And my last name, Miller. I have a Lamed, right? Okay, what is this? These are the final letters. Okay, we have 5 final letters, but up to now we learned only 4. So we have Pei Sofit, Chaf Sofit, Nun Sofit, Mem Sofit. This would be the last letter of the word Mayim. What is Mayim? Water. Mayim. The Bible has so many times the word Mayim. So if you see a regular Mem, then a Yud, and then a final Mem, you immediately recognize it. And there's another word that has the word Mayim in it. Shamayim. Heaven. Sky, right? In the first verse in the Bible, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim. God created the heaven and earth, ve'et haaretz. Okay, so shamayim would be shin, we're going to learn today. Mem yud mem, shamayim. So this is pei sofit, and when it's the final pei, and it sounds like an F. F. Let's bring some examples. Af, nose. Okay, af, aleph, pei sofit, af. Af can also be anger. Nose has to do with anger. So in the Bible, in Hebrew, in modern Hebrew, we just use it for nose. Af. Af can be big, it can be small, it can be gadol, it can be katan, it can be tov, it can be good, right? But in the Bible, af also has to do with anger. When God is angry, it can say v'chara af Adonai. Okay, it's the anger of God, the rage of God. Okay, not so pleasant. What is this? Tet. Now, please, if there's a letter you don't recognize, you can write it to yourself, and in the end, I don't go back home with you. I'm very fortunate for you, right? I don't follow any of you home, because then I'm all day remind you that you need to only do this. You need to forget about everything. This is very important. Before you have breakfast, before you go to sleep, this is what you do. So if there's a letter you don't recognize, you write it down and you say tet, 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 tet. You gotta find ways to remember this. If you don't find ways, you text me and I'll help you. What is this? So we had the bet, and now we have the vet. The same letter without the dot. Daled, which word David, King David. How do we write David? Daled, Vav, this is Vav. Daled, Daled, Vav, Daled. You see in the Bible, Daled, Vav, Daled. David, HaMelech David. Ha is the, Melech is king. Today we're going to see the word Melech in Jonah. David HaMelech, King David. There's even a hotel in Jerusalem called Malon. Malon is a hotel. HaMelech David, King David Hotel. So when you go to Israel, you say, you're not a tourist. You're not a tourist. You don't say, where is King David hotel? You say, where is Malon HaMelech David? Ah, you'll get a better price. Okay, what is this? Yud. Okay, the letter Yud. Let's say Yisrael, right? The state of Yisrael, or Yehuda, Judah, Yehuda, or Yeshua, Jesus, starts with the letter Yud, right? Who else? Who has a Yud here in their name? Daniel, Ori, Mordy, Angie. The final letter is Yud, okay? Patricia, you have a Yud there, okay? Michelle, sorry, you don't have a Yud. Grace has 2 Yud. Same Danny? No. Lo is no. You'll hear it a lot. Okay. Nun, Cabria has Yud. Okay. Gladys. Final Nun. Ben, the word Ben, son. Ben, son, Bet Nun. Bet Nun, the word son. Son, right? Father and son, not son in the sky, but son of, right, of the parents. Chaf Sofit, we said, this is the easiest, you all should know it. Aleph, right? You all knew this, I hope. Aleph. Samech. Okay, it's just a circle. That's how you remember it. Circle starts with a samech. Okay? Then we have Gimel. Let's say we have Sisra in samech. You know Sisra from the book of Judges? King Sisra. Sisra, what's his name in English? Anybody know? I don't know. There's Sisra. Or a horse is Sus, right? When the Egyptians chased the Hebrews, the Israelites, they chased them into the Red Sea that is called Yam Suf, with a Samech, and they're riding their horses. Sus. It says in Exodus, Sus v'rochbo rama bayam. Okay, so they all drowned in the water. Yam is sea. Okay? What is this? Gimel. Gamal, camel. Camel, gamel, gamal, okay? Remember camel, gamel, gamal? And it has many meanings. Many other meanings. Ashir al Adonai ki gamal alai. And what else? Gidon. You know Gidon. Starts with a gimel. Then a dalet. Who else starts with a gimel? Grace. Gal Gadot, Gladys, right? So Gal is Gimel Lamed. Gal is also in Hebrew a wave. Gal is a wave. So some people call their children Gal. Gal can be also a boy and also a girl. Like Ori, my daughter, can be also a boy, also a girl. Daniel can be also for a boy and also for a girl. Today, in the Bible, Daniel is a boy. Okay. This is, it looks like a Dalet, but it's a Zayin. I probably should have done a better job here. This should be maybe a bit shorter here. Zayin, okay? Zvulun, you know the tribe of Zvulun, one of the 12 tribes? Zvulun. What else? Who else? Ziv. This we said is Chaf, right? Because we have Kaf and we have Chaf. This is the most important. Why? Because it's my letter. Most important for me. Mordy or Mordechai. Miller, Mordechai Miller. Or Mar is Mr. Mar Mordechai Miller. Okay? And we have many others. Okay, we have here Moshe. Moses. Moshe. Moshe Isha Elohim, the godly man. Ish is man. Ha-Elohim. Elohim is one of the names of God, right? Elohim. Adonai is the name of God. Elohim is the name of God. Each each resemble a different maybe way of revelation, God revealing himself. But there's the way of Adonai, the way of Elohim. Okay. Chet. Chet. This is the hardest to pronounce for people who don't speak Hebrew. In English, we would put or a CH or a H. Let's say the Eve in Hebrew is called Chava. Chet, Vav, Hey. Chava. Okay, so if you want to write it in transliteration, you would write C-H-A-V-A or H-A-V-A. Hava, Chava. Okay? Or my second name, Chaim, life. Chaim. You find that there's so many times in the Bible you found Chaim. Kaf. Final mem, Maim, Shemaim, Chaim. Also, Chet, Yud, Yud, Mem. Nun and Ain. Ain is also I. Many times in the Bible, many times. Ain, tachat ain, eye for an eye. Or the eye of God. Or my eye is always looking at God. Einai tamid, always, tamid, el Adonai. Psalms, okay? So many times. We can just, a whole session just speak about the letter Ain in the Bible. I really want to do it, but I won't. Because then you won't come back. And Nun, as we said, let's say the serpent, the snake. How do we say snake? Nachash. Remember the Nachash? Nachash. Nun, Chet, and Shin that we're going to learn soon. Nachash. Now, please notice that most of the final letters, actually 4 out of 5, have a long leg. Okay, you see? We just continue the letter. Okay, they have a long leg. Can you see it? All of the letters that are circled, except for mem, that's just a square. We have chaf sofit, hey sofit, nun sofit, and today we'll learn also tzadik sofit. They all have the long leg. So if you see in Hebrew, you'll see the letters and then you see the line, right? You just have to, it's about symmetry. And then you see that some letters are continuing the line from below. That's a final, and they come in the end of the word. They come in the end of the word, it's a final letter. It's either cha, fa, n, or m. Or m, okay? Now let's do a test. Please open your notebooks and write the nikud of or kamatz or patach. Kamatz or patach. Just see that you know how to write it. And if you don't remember, just listen the symbols that do right? If I want to do what do I write? Kamatz or patach? Okay, 5 more seconds. Okay, so the answer would be, if you did it correct, it would be either this, right, the line, or this is patach and this is kamatz, the line with the little thingy here in the middle. Okay, now please write down chirik, yi, chirik. Just the symbol itself, right? Not the word chirik, just the symbol E. And also if you're home, do it. Please do it. Okay, so this would be the answer, the tiny dot under the letter. If we see a tiny dot under the letter, we know it's E. Me. Who? Mize. Who? Who is like you, God? Who is like you amongst the gods? Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh. Okay? Thank you. And then we have tzere or segol. Write tzere or segol. If we want to write a word in Hebrew that starts or has a, what do we choose amongst these? let's say Moshe, right? We want to put A. We want to write Moshe. We want children to understand. Children need nikud. What do? So we do either the tzere, right? Or the segol. Now please write shuruk or kubutz. Andrew. We want to write Andrew. Or Yeshua. Okay? Or Zvulun. Zvulun has two of them, right? Two shuruk. Okay, so one would be just a vav with a dot in the tummy, vav that swallowed a ball, or the balls that are falling down the steps, kubutz. Now, how are you doing up to now? Okay? Good spirits? Feeling the progress. Okay. Now, please write shva. Just we want to stand still. So what do? Let's say again, you use zvulun. So it's the zayin, z would be zvulun, right? Zayin with a shva, then vet, would be a vav with a dot, lamed, vav with a dot, and a nun sofit, a final nun, zvulun. By the way, do you want to try to write the word zvulun? Maybe you should. That's for advanced. Zvulun. Zvulun is zayin, vet, right? Zayin, vet, vav, with a dot in the stomach, then it makes it a u, then a lamed, then another vav with a ball in its stomach, and then a final nun. Zvulun, it's one of the 12 tribes. Okay? Yaakov had 12. We have 12 tribes, right? Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Gad, what else? Dan, Issachar, Yosef, Binyamin, and Zvulun, of course. Okay? Yeah, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Zvulun, Gad, Dan, Naphtali, Yosef, Binyamin, Asher. Okay? We have 12 of those. And now, please write the letter Daled. Okay, 5 seconds, the letter Daled. And I'm looking for it here. This is the answer. The letter Daled between the Bet and the Aleph. You see between the Bet with a circle and the Aleph, we have the letter Daled. So please make sure you wrote it correctly. And then write the letter Fei Sofit, final Pei. Like we said, Af, right? Aleph and then Fei Sofit. So it's one of those that are circled in red, but try to identify it. Okay, so this is it. Maybe we can remember it. It has some kind of a nose, right? And Af in Hebrew is Aleph Pei. So remember it has to do with the nose. Aleph Pei Sofit. This is how we actually write the word nose. Aleph and Pei Sofit. So maybe you can also try writing the word Af. You can write a word in Hebrew, Af. Right? So write an Aleph and then write a Pei Sofit. And last letter, the letter Zayin. The letter Zayin. The letter Zayin is a bit similar to Vav, a bit similar to Daled, slightly different. Okay? So the letter Zayin looks like a Daled, but it's more symmetric. So where is it? Here it is. Okay, we have the pole, and then like a small roof that's symmetric from both sides and not too long. Okay, the Dalet, it stresses a bit more. Okay? and the vav has only one of the sides. So it's like you take a vav and you add another vav on the opposite, okay? It's like two vavs that are back to back. That's a zayin. So you know how to write vav, and then you take that vav and you say, let's make it into a zayin. One vav to the right, one vav to the left. But it has only one pole in the middle, okay? One leg. Okay. Very good. Tov meod. I hope it's tov meod for you. Okay? And we didn't finish the test. Don't get excited yet. Okay. So now, I've written some words that you should all be able to read. Okay, so let's start reading them. But in order for you to read them, I need to help you out a bit because they don't have nikud. So what I'm going to ask you, I'm going to read them and then I'll ask you to add the nikud. Okay? So the first word is Elohim. Elohim. So what do I put under the aleph? Do you know? You can try it, okay? Elohim. You can write. We won't do all of the letters now, all of the words, I mean. Let's choose 3 words, and so let's write this. Elohim. Elohim is one of God's names. It's the 3rd word of the Bible. Bereshit bara Elohim. In the beginning created God, right? God created. In Hebrew, first we have the act of okay? Elohim. So we have Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Hey, Yud, and final Mem. Elohim. Okay, so we would put under the Aleph a segol, the 3 dots. Then we would put on the Vav a dot on the Vav's head. Oh, right? We want Elo. And then we would put a chirik, a dot, under the letter Hey. Him. So, segol, cholam, chirik, Elohim. Okay? Do you all got it, or do you need me to actually write it? Okay, if somebody's not sure, you can also come to me later. Okay, now the word this is, can someone read this? David. Very good. Whoever could read it, very good. David. Daled. Vav Daled. David. Okay, so David would be with a kamatz, and then with a chirik. That's it. Kamatz, chirik. David. David. What is this? You should be able to read it. Which letter is this? Very good. Yud, Vav, Samech, and Fei. Yosef. Who's Yosef? Joseph. Okay? Joseph, how do you say? In the pit? In the pit, you say? Bo in Hebrew. Bet Vav Reish. Bo. Yosef, Babor. Yosef, Babor. So here also we would have a cholam, a dot, on the head of the Vav. And then we would have a tzeireh. Yosef. Okay? We won't do all of them. This one we've done already a few times. Zvulun. Okay? Zvulun. So we would have a dot. The ball would be in the stomach of both vowels. Ulun. Ze, shva, 2 dots. Ulun. Zvulun. Dot in the middle here, dot in the middle here. That would be how the word would appear in the Bible. Zevulun. This is another tribe. Gad. Another tribe. Dan. Another tribe. Yehuda. Another tribe. Levi. Yehuda. Zevulun, Gad, Dan, and this is from the New Testament. Paulus. Paulus. So it would also have in both vavs the shuruk. Okay? The shuruk, the ball that Paulus is Paul. Right? You heard about Paul? So in Hebrew we call him Paulus. Okay, so we'd have a dot in the pei to make it pa and not fa. If it wouldn't have a dot here in the middle, we would say Paulus. But we put a dot and it becomes Paulus. Vav with a dot in the middle, another vav with a dot in the middle. Okay, and the pei, it would be with a kamatz. Pa-u-lus, okay? So this would be just one example of words that already you can identify in the Bible. And this is what we've learned up to now. And many of them, you don't have to even know Hebrew. You'll say, you all know Elohim. You all know David, Yosef, Levi, Yehuda is Judah, Zevulun, Gad, Dan. You can recognize these words. Okay? Now, when you're home, you might want to go over the video and just see if you can read the words yourself without me reading them out. So you just look at it, and if you're home now, please look at the board. Look at the board and see if you can pause the video and see, can I read all of these words? Can I read them? If yes, it's a very good sign. If no, maybe next time. But we don't have a lot of time. So you gotta get serious, okay? Okay. Now, what is left for us for this part is a few more letters. Let me just get these are very important. Okay. So some of them were erased. Okay, and okay. In the meantime, Leah is our #1 student, right, Leah? She comes every time. She listens so nicely. Leah is the best. How do you write best? Bet, samech, tet. Okay, if you want to write the English word best, write be with a segol, samech with a shva, and then just tet. We don't put nikud in the final word. Okay? We don't put nikud in the final word. When we have to put nikud, it means there's a vowel, and then we add one of the letters ehevi, aleph, hey, vav, yud, as we learned last time. And if you forgot, there's the video for that. Okay? Ehevi. Okay, so you can repeat with me. Let's do everything with patach. Okay? A, ba, ga, da, ha, va, za, cha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, a, pa. Pa or fa, okay? And then just for practice, when you're home, you can look at this again and then say, okay, let's do all of the vowels. Ibi gidi hivi zichi ti yikili mini si ipitzi. Ubu gudu huvu zuchu tu yukulu munu su putzu. Oh, pu, sorry, we didn't do tzadik. Ebe gede heve zechete yekele bene se epe. Ibi gidi hivi zichi ti yikili mini si ipi. And so on and so on, okay? It's very good practice. Just do it slower until you can get it faster and faster. And now, I hope all of you prepared the 5 letters of today. Okay, so I'm not writing them again. I want to show you them. And again, you have what I sent you every week. You can see exactly how to write. And I remind you, in Hebrew, we write from the top to the bottom. The Hebrew letters, we derive from the divinity. From above, from God, Elohim, to us. Most letters, okay? Tzadik, tza. Some examples for biblical words that start with the letter tzadik. Tzadik, the letter tzadik also has a meaning. Some letters have a meaning. Which ones? Pei is also mouth, pei. Ain is eye. And tzaddik is righteous. Okay? Tzaddik. So let's say if you open Psalms 92, verse 3, you can write it down, you'll find the word Tzadik. Tzadik, katamar ifrach. Tzadik blossoms like a palm, right? Like a palm tree. You know this verse in Psalms? Tzadik, katamar ifrach. Tzadik is like I hope I'm saying it correctly in English, like a palm. You know a palm, the tree, the dates, right? Tzadik, katamar. Tzipor, also, bird, tzipor. So if you open Psalms 124, verse 7, you would find the word tzipor, bird. Tzli, something that is roasted. Tzli, when the Israelites leave Egypt, when we have Passover, Pesach, so we're commanded to eat the sacrificed animal in a roasted way. Tzli, that would be in Exodus 12:9. Ki im tzli ish. So you go there to the verse and you find the word tzli. And we have the word tzitz, that it starts with a tzaddik and ends with a tzaddik, but there's a final tzaddik. This is the final tzaddik. Tz. It has the same, it looks exactly like a tzaddik, just it doesn't have the bottom line. And this slant, it's called a slant. The slant goes a bit longer, a bit more down, okay, downwards. So this is the tzaddik. You see, the head looks the same, and we have the slant. It just goes a bit downwards. So the word tzitz. It's a question. What is tzitz? Every translation says something else. It has to do with flour, with something that maybe can appear, can come up, can open. Lehatzitz is to peek. You want to peek into the room, you say, someone is matzitz. He's looking in. But the word tzitz you can find in Isaiah 40. So in verses 6 to 8, in Isaiah 40, you find, I think, at least 4, 5, or 6 tzitz. So open it, you can see the English translation, but try to open it with like an English Hebrew version, and then you see tzitz. By the way, the English translation doesn't always translate it as the same thing. But it is. It's the same tzitz, okay? There are some disadvantages about translation. This would be one of them. Tzitzit. Thank you. How do you translate tzitzit to English? It's these strings that God commands Moshe to tell Israel to put on their clothes. How do you say? Okay, I'll write it down to you afterwards. I'll look it up, okay? Tzitzit, okay. Kuf, k. So the top of the kuf looks like a reish. And then we have a line in the middle, kuf. And remember we said kol Adonai. Adam, when Adam is in Gan Eden, what does he hear? God's voice. So what does he hear? Kol. Kuf vav lamed. Kol. Or we would write it in English, K-O-L. Okay? Kol. Kol Adonai. So there's Psalms 29 has many verses that say Kol Adonai, the voice of God. What does the voice of God do? Right? How does it affect nature? How does it affect everything? Kol Adonai. Another word with kuf is God tells Yonah, kum, get up, rise. And when Joseph speaks about his dream, he says that, how is it called? The wheat stood up, right? His batch, right, stood up. Hine kama אלומתי וגם ניצבה. כמה אלומתי וגם ניצבה. Kama. So you can look it up in Genesis 37, verse 7. It's Joseph's dream, Yosef's dream, and you'll find the word Kama, rose, stood up. Every time we see Kuf and Mem, we know it has to do with rising. Kum, Kam, Kumu, all of you in plural, okay? And more. Okay? Just giving a very few examples. Reish. Okay, Reish. So it's like the kuf stop is Reish, or it's like a hey without the small addition here. Reish. Reish also has to do with Rosh. Rosh is head. Bereshit. The second letter in the Bible is the letter Reish. Bereshit. Rosh, head. Someone has a big head, say he has a Rosh Gadol. Small head, Rosh Katan. Sometimes if you want to say someone is very, he takes responsibility and he's like a leader, you say he has a big head. It's Rosh Gadol. Nobody cleaned up, he did. Well done. He found a solution. Rosh Gadol. Okay? Today, in today's Hebrew, not in the Bible. In the Bible, Rosh Gadol is big head. That's it. Okay? Retzon, desire. God fulfills the desire of those who pray to Him truly and approach Him truly. Retzon yereav yaseh. Retzon. For example, Psalms 145:19. Or Rachav, you know Rachav, the woman Rachav, that Joshua, what's his name in English? Joshua, Yehoshua. All of the J's, you got to get rid of the J's. There's no more Joseph, Jesus, Joshua, I don't know who they are. Yehoshua, Yehuda, no Judah. Yehuda, Yehoshua, you got to get used to it. Forget about the J's. The J's they're no good. They're no good for us. Okay? We don't because nobody in the Bible knows what is a J. Okay, so we have Rachav from the story of Yehoshua. It's in Yehoshua chapter 6. Chapter 6, you can look her up and you see every time her name appears, it begins with a Reish, Rachav. We have 2 more letters. Are you excited? 2 more letters. We already did Tzadik and Tzadik, final Tzadik. We did Kuf. We did Reish. And now we have Shin that comes in 2 versions. Shin, that is a SH, Sh. Or Sin, that sounds like a Samech. Okay? So it can be either Shin or Sin. How do we know? It depends where we find the dot. Again, we have a dot. If the dot is on the right side, then it's a Shin. And if it's on the left side, what is it?
Sin.
Sin. How do we know? Because the word left in Hebrew is small. Small starts with a sin. Small left. So if you don't remember what side is a sin, you just look at the word left and you know it's on the left. Very easy. The dot is on the left. So remember the word small. When Avraham meets Lot, you know Lot, right? So they discuss, they want to depart from each other, right? So he says, if I go right, you go left. If I go left, you go right. So you'll find there the word Asme'ila. I will take, today in modern Hebrew you don't say Asme'ila, but you'll find there the letter Sin. Seme'ila is very similar to small. Small, you write Sin, Mem, Aleph, Lamed, small. Okay? That's the small I can think about in the Bible. I'm sure there are more. Okay? Aymina asmeila, yamin small. Okay. Shin and sin. What else? There's another word that starts with a sin. Simcha, happiness. Sameach, happy. Simcha, happiness. Sameach, happy. One ends with a hey, one doesn't end with a hey. Sameach, sin mem chet. Sin mem chet, happy. Are you happy? Ata, or at, if it's a woman. Ata sameach? Are you happy? Ken, yes. Remember Ken? Singaporeans didn't make up the Ken. The Hebrews did. Ken is yes. Okay? Then in Singapore it became can. But we know the original. Ken. Can, yes. So when someone in Singapore asks you, can you do something? You say can. And you mean yes. Kaf, nun. Kaf, nun sofit. Can. Okay? So we have Ata sameach? Can. Can? Can. Or lo. Lo. No. Lamed aleph. Lo. Can? Lo. Sameach, simcha. And in Shin we have King Solomon. In Hebrew is Shlomo. Or what do I say when I meet you? Shalom. Shalom. Shin, Lamed, Vav with a dot on top. Or Shalom. Mem Sofit, final Mem. Shalom. Maybe you can practice. Can you write the word Shalom in your notebook? Shin, Lamed, Vav, Mem Sofit. Shin, Lamed, Vav, Mem Sofit. Okay, so this is for you to see if you can do Shalom. So we have Shin and Sin, and then the final letter would be Taf. If you want, you can show me later your notebooks. I'll tell you if it's correct. Okay? The letter Taf is the last letter. I know there's a saying, I think, from where is it? Alpha and Omega, right? Okay? So in Hebrew we would say from Aleph to Taf. From is M, the letter Mem. From, I said I come from Singapore, Me Singapore. I come from Yerushalayim, Me Yerushalayim. Me Aleph, from Aleph, Le Taf, or Ad Taf, until. Okay? Me Aleph, Ve Ad Taf, and till Taf. So you say, he did it perfectly. She did it perfectly. She did the whole thing. Me Aleph, Ve Ad Taf. Completely. Very good. Okay? Aleph, Ataf. The word truth begins with Aleph and ends with Taf. Emet. Aleph, Mem, Taf. Emet. Can you write the word Emet? The word truth, also a very important biblical word. Emet. Emet, nachon hadavar. Emet. Of course, it's true. The davar is the word, the thing. Hadavar, the thing. The word. Emet. Aleph, Mem, Taf. Then you would put a segol to make it E, and another segol to make it Me. Emet. The last word, no nikud. Emet. Aleph, Mem. Wow. Okay, we've done a lot, I think.
Can you
Right?
have the answers for Shalom?
For what? For Shalom? Yeah, let's write Shalom and Emet. Okay, so I'm writing in red, right? We have the Shin, and then we have the Lamed, and the Vav, and the Mem. So we will have here Shalom. Shalom. Okay? Shalom. By the way, my handwriting is not amazing, okay? Some of you have better handwriting than I do. And also remember that in modern Hebrew, we don't write in the Assyrian, this Assyrian way. Okay? We write, as I said, there's a different way of writing today. And I told you I counted, and at least half of the letters look almost identical. But still there's some to learn. The letter Shin is not identical. Okay. Vav is similar, Mem is similar. Okay. And what else did we say? Emet. Aleph. Mem and Taf. Emet. Emet. So many people like to say Mem is the middle. So saying the truth is the whole thing. From the beginning to the end to the middle. The middle letter, the first letter, middle letter, and final letter of the Aleph Bet. Emet. It's very important.
Mordy,
Okay?
does it matter if we put it differently, like 3 dot then 2 dot? Doesn't matter.
So there is a way to know how to write it. I hope I got it correctly, but if it's a tzere, it sounds the same, it looks the same. I mean, it looks like segol tzere. I can look it up. I have in mind that you write it with 2 segol, but you can't write it anywhere you want. Okay, there are rules for this. Okay, we can now take a break.